Room goes quiet. Sales. What happens in you when you hear that word? Sales is generally demonized and it's misunderstood. And the question is why? So a pitch is a transfer of belief to you. And sales, the definition is that sales involves transaction. But the other one, which is less obvious, is that it's power. Sales is power. Good sales is not about convincing someone to do something they don't want to do. It's about helping them make a decision they already want to make, but faster. This is the deepest longings, the deepest pains, the deepest fears, the deepest dreams. So guys, coming to the end of a leadership weekend. We've been having a good journey, good process. And just recently we also heard about where and why leadership is required. Can you give me a few examples and I can write them down? Family. Or else?
Self-development.
Self-development. Okay, great. A few more?
Business.
Business. You want to break it down? Where in business?
Work. Job.
Work. With your team, yeah? Anywhere else in business?
Sales.
Did not expect you to say that. Sales. How come you said that?
Well, what comes to me is that if I don't lead it, someone else will lead it.
Mm-hmm. So you mean in the context of sales? You meaning if you're being sold to, you need your leadership?
No, this is more doing business with others.
Mm-hmm.
Where you most likely are selling what you work with.
I like that. Amazing. Okay. Sales is a place where leadership is needed. And at the moment, and I've been doing this now for quite some time, when we teach about leadership and we teach about specifically business and entrepreneurship, we often talk about the importance of pitching. And people are like, yeah, pitching my vision. And we talk about being a good leader in business, leading the way, seeing people. And then I mentioned sales. And I can almost immediately, upon doing that, feeling a sense of constriction. Room goes quiet. Sales. What happens in you when you hear that word? What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, a bit of, what is it called? Snake oil, says now? Or...
Snake oil, exactly. Do you want to change the slide there? Something along these lines, yeah? Some kind of ruthless enforcement using manipulative tactics, shoving down a product or a service in the throat of a helpless lamb. Because these are wolves, yeah? They're criminals. Criminal activity, they all got what they deserved as well. Not all of them, but many. Sales is generally demonized and it's misunderstood. And the question is why? Why is that? And I believe there's two reasons for it. First one is that it's connected to money. Just to set the frame, we talk about presenting and pitching, which is really the same. If you were to be really technical about it, I could go down and say presentation is where I inform and educate. With no real commitment expected from you, it's not really true because your attention and also hopefully you earning and gaining some of my viewpoints. But then the technical definition of a pitch would be along the lines of a presentation, but where I expect and the commitment required and hoped is that you take a step forward towards possibly a transaction or following my vision or getting behind what I'm saying. So a pitch is a transfer of belief to you. And sales, the definition is that sales involves transaction. It involves a transactional and monetary transaction. So that's the sales call. And because we have a very skewed and limiting understanding and belief system around money, it often gets loaded and tricky, and we have perceptions. So that one is pretty obvious. But the other one, which is less obvious, is that it's power. Sales is power. Knowing how to sell is very powerful. Yet I went to one of the top business schools in the world. They praise themselves as ranking like, I think, 11 amongst Ivy League schools, Harvard Business School. And yet we didn't have a single presentation about sales. No. Not one single one. And we didn't actually have anything about entrepreneurship either. It was ultimately a school which took me and many people that came in there with a hope of becoming business guys, learning how to build something and create something. And after 3 years, I only had one dream: become an investment banker, to work in London, finance and trading. So if you see why that is also when you can look at the sponsoring of the schools. Who's the biggest sponsors of many business schools today? It's the biggest employers, top employers of the world. But that is also another discussion. Because we're going to talk about and really try and make a journey here, which is about bringing sales back home into its family. Because sales at the moment is like this little sad bastard of entrepreneurship and about the leadership. So let's go on a journey and really help to bring it back home with its family. And we'll see how far we can go. And I'd like to begin with a quote by Alex Hormozi, who is a huge inspiration. And he says, "Good sales is not about convincing someone to do something they don't want to do, snake oil. It's about helping them make a decision they already want to make, but faster." Yeah? And a good sales call becomes basically the same thing as a good coaching call. Because if you think about coaching, what do? We're there as an ally. We're giving it our best to our capacity to help this person take a step in the right direction for himself, according to his higher self, or to bring it down to simplistic terms, to his best interest. Yeah. And I'm gonna try and give you a journey here to explain how this works in a typical sales journey by talking about the journey of coming into Seoul. Because it becomes extra exciting to look at this when we have high ticket pricing in the sales. Because as we said, money, loaded term, more money, more loaded. So there's a lot of skin in the game for the person. It's not just a safe container where we can practice. It will involve me actually taking a decisive step, and also towards something that is a substantial investment. In our case, our programs range from 15,000 euros to 50,000 euros. Significant, right? So it involves a lot of stake. And the journey is threefolded. The journey of any call like this. And the first step in a sales journey is this. Find their why. You see how it's already relatively similar to a coaching call? So we begin, I have a man coming in and I ask him immediately, why are you here? Sometimes I ask it directly like that. Sometimes I ask, what are your pains? What are your pains and your dreams? Sometimes I ask, what are your longings? Depending on which man I have in front of me, I will choose a different way, but it all contains an attempt to understand. Who is he? Who is the man I have in front of him? What is his deepest core? And the other thing that is important here that I have to work with is trust. A person is brave enough to step into a call with me, but he meets me for the first time. He gets what it's about. He understands. He wouldn't be there otherwise. But there's something inside of him which is he lacks trust. He doesn't know me. So how do we build trust? We show that we listen. We ask questions and we listen, and we don't just say, I hear you. We say, can I just repeat back what I heard? I reflect back to show to him that I did actually listen. I get you. And I give him an opportunity to also change things. Did I get you right there? Did I miss anything? Would you like to add anything? I work with that. And I also work with actually going deeper with him to share. When you share these things, that's what's happening inside of me. I share the impacts. This is what comes up. When you share about that pain, I feel pain inside of me. I feel my my stomach is contracting, or I feel a sadness arising. So these are subconscious layers between each other that we establish trust. And there are different types of men coming in to the calls. You have many forms, but I would call it, the first one is the surface layer man. It just gives me surface layers pains. Oh yeah, I have some difficulty with stress management. Not really sure I like my job, and maybe I have some money problems. So you get those three, 1, 2, 3. And then you have another person, which is very focused on what he wants. I'm here because I'm building my business and I want to 10x the revenue, or I want to make it fly, or I'm here because I want to become financially free. So you have that person who's like super direct, one thing, and is that. And then you have the third person who is lost. Like, it might be this, might be that. Oh, not feeling so well. So a few of these, 1, 2, 3. And one of the things here that is important, because remember, we're working with trust. So a key component here is to treat every person in the same way. Saying, okay, amazing. For this person, you can sense its surface layer. Treat them as door openings. One of the biggest mistakes you can do is to immediately, once you have heard the first problem, say, okay, well, we have a solution for you here. Amazing. Oh, you feel a bit difficult with stress management, and you want to find what you're here to do, and you have some money problems. Well, our training takes care of that. Rock and roll. What's going to happen then is that you haven't built enough trust and momentum and commitment. And the second person here, you can easily fall into the trap of, okay, let's talk business. Let's go. What's happening? Show me your lead strategy. Show me your business architecture, and let's go. Let's rock and roll. But for that reason, again, we're missing the trust element. So they're easy to say, amazing. Before we dive into that one, are you okay if we just explore some other fields as well, so that we can make sure that we know what we're going to be focusing on? It probably is that, because you seem very determined, but can we just check some other things as well, so we can build more of a real map for you, a plan for you? And then once you begin that process, you're going to notice that you're going to sink deeper. And the third person here as well, here is relatively obvious. It's like, hey, I feel there's some uncertainty. I need to understand more. And then you work your way down with each of these people towards the same thing, which is the deep why. This is the deepest longings, the deepest pains, the deepest fears, the deepest dreams, the essence of man, who he is. And once you finally arrive there, you want to make sure to see him there, because many men never expose this. Many men don't even have the capacity to go there themselves. So once you're there, you don't want to go immediately to, oh, let's fix that then. But just say, hey, I see you there. To see a person and to understand or make that person feel seen in itself is deeply healing. And then once you're there, you arrive at the next step. So you ask, what is it worth for you to arrive at the place of your deepest longings? To become this man that have power, direction, know where you are, have deep family relationship, whatever it is that he wants and longs for, what is it worth to you? Most likely he's going to say it's worth everything, because what you're pointing towards is his full potential, the full capacity of him, which every person longs for deep within, to break free of their constrictions and live their life fully. So what is it worth for you? And have him say that. It's worth everything. And then, only then, do you begin and say, okay, this is how what we have can help you there. And then you map, yeah? You map main pain 1, 2, 3, main dream 1, 2, 1, 3, 2. Pain, dream, outcome. You begin to map it. This is how our journey is going to help you get there. And you show them the solution. So map pains and deeps, longings to the solution. And then as you do this, you also assess all the time. How does this for you right now? Don't get lost in chaotic pitching. It's still very much a dynamic process here. How does this for you? Where's your commitment level at the moment? And then they're going to say, I really want this. And you say, okay, is it a must-have? Or is it a need to have? If he says, well, it's a need to have, okay, then you have further digging to do, because we have to assess, are we a right match for each other? And we only work with people who have a 10 out of 10. So if he says it's still a need to have, let's go deeper and maybe find then the reason why you can say it's a 100% no for me right now. I just don't want it enough at the moment. I'm okay with the pain I'm having. The pain of change seems too difficult at the moment. But that's totally fine. That's how we work with people. It's not for everyone what we do. But then you have the guys who says, this feels like a must-have. I must do this. It's a 100% certainty that this is my journey. Only then are you ready to go into the next phase. A little break. I notice there's like needing to stop soon. We need to wrap it up, yeah. Because I have a full nother journey around how to then work.
You should have done it faster.
Yeah. Well, in that case, let me then wrap it up. And only then do you actually move the conversation towards the final bits, which is where you begin to talk about the transaction. So this is what it's going to cost for you. This is the required investment for you to make a step in that direction. And what are you going to be noticing immediately when that happens is the person will build a wall of defenses because he can feel how close he is to taking a path in that direction. What happens is his lower self, the part of him that is protective of him all his life as a guardian to make sure he doesn't get hurt, and which is in charge of the current life situation which he is in, is going to go, oh, no. I'm sensing something here. I'm sensing a fragmentation of myself coming. I don't like that. So the person will begin to retort to the 3 layers of excuses. And the excuses are, it's circumstances, others, and self. 3 layers of blame. Circumstances, time, money, fit. I'm busy right now, have a lot going on, have this project, I have that project, or can't even fit the time into my schedule at the moment. Money, it's a bit costly right now, I don't have the money, or I don't see the value. And fit, I don't think it's for me. It doesn't seem to fit me. And secondly, it's others. Often my partner. I need to check with my partner. I need to check that she's okay with me taking this move. And deep within, it's self. I need to think about it. I need some time, or I'm just afraid it's not going to work. So the rest of the journey of the sales call is about helping a man to keep straight. Because the man knows, because you've already gone deep enough, this is my path. I know it's for me. I know it's going to be a great journey for me. And then it's you and that part of him against the guardian, and not against, it's in combination, in dialogue with, to help him constantly stay straight, working with him, bringing him back again. Stay the course, remember what you want, and remember how you wanted it. And that's where you need that trust and that commitment that you built up in the first place. So for the next presentation, we're going to go into the next layer of this, which is, of course, how to work here, how to work with the different arguments that will come, and also helping the man see that, wow, it's just made up, all of it. Because he already knows, in the case of our program, for instance, that he has a deep, deep longing to be the man he was born to be, to build his power, to find the direction, and find his allies to do that with. It's already clear. So that becomes the journey then. And with that, I thank you for the first part. Thank you, guys.